The playoffs are underway, and your favorite team's gearing up for their run for the cup. But what about you? What is your Hut team gearing up for? Are the elite playoffs on your mind? Trying to win that elusive Div 1 title? Well, then you may need to gear up yourself. So check out Hut Puck Traders for all your needs and use Sully 10% off. Get that extra little edge out there you need on the ice so you won't be left playing golf during the summer. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. I am Sully, and today, fellas, I have a situation that I need to address that I take with the utmost seriousness and that needs to be called out. And I'm talking about Banoughler's. Now, I have been studying Banoughler's for quite some time, and they live in the wild. We're not exactly sure where Banoughler's hide out. We know that they stay on the internet primarily. They could be on Twitter. They could be a YouTuber. We don't know exactly where they hibernate in groups, but trust me, with utmost seriousness, they are out there. And so today, I'm going to teach you how to spot a Banoughler and how do you respond. And throughout this commentary, I may reference something called the Banoughler method. Now, you've heard me say this probably on the podcast, probably to conduct in some streams. I'm going to break that down in a later video, but right now, enjoy the commentary, enjoy the background footage, put this on, click another tab, just listen because you need to hear what I'm talking about. So Banoughler's, one step to identifying a Banoughler is quickly in their commentaries, or if they're streaming, or if they're on Twitter, they can identify what quote-unquote a Div 1 player is. Now, we all can. A Div 1 player, they'll say, does the pull back to draw the trips. All they do is cross crease. All they want is the slap shot cheese or the wrist shot cheese. They quickly identify the top Div 1 play style. But what they don't do is they don't defend it. They don't adapt. They quickly will blame the game, their goaltender for not making the save. Banoughler shift the blame to everyone but themselves. That is how you find a Banoughler. Another way to spot a Banoughler is during the game, they will quickly assess a player and then they will insult them. So for example, this guy does pullback wristers. Oh, he cares so much about the game. Oh man, my mommy doesn't love me. They will throw insults during their commentaries. Now, while they do this, it's quick to establish something about Banoughler. A Banoughler spends just as much time as a Div 1 player they are criticizing. That is first and foremost. So a Banoughler will typically have a stacked team, and then he'll say to the Div 1 player who cheeses them, he'll say, man, I just don't stoop that low to win a game. Or, see, the Banoughler's crafty. This is what there's no logic or reasoning with these people. The Banoughler will say something to the effect of, if he has a worse team, he'll say, oh man, this guy has stacked players. That's the only reason why he's winning. Or, geez, guy, how many thousands of dollars or something have you spent on Hut? Okay, they'll quickly shift the blame to, oh, you're a loser. While in fact, they have over 100 games played, easy. And the problem is the Banoughler won't adapt to the game. And we're almost done with the game. NHL 16 is coming upon us. Now, here's something else. A Banoughler will quickly, once the game ends, he will then go straight to the stats. Now, why does the Banoughler go straight to the stats? Because he's looking for one stat that conquers everything. If he wins in time on attack, oh, I had 10 minutes of time on attack, he only had 7, I was the better player. Or shots. Shots are a dead red flag giveaway for Banoughler's, because Banoughler's use the Banoughler method. Now, the Banoughler method, like I said, we'll break down in another video, but for the purposes of this video, let's just establish that Banoughler's shoot it from anywhere and everywhere. I mean anywhere. And if they score, look out, because they're selling like they just discovered the cure for cancer. It's over. They're watching the replays because they need to justify that goal. Like, oh, that's a real hockey goal. As if there is such a thing. You know, but that's another commentary for another day. But anyways, if a Banoughler scores, he will Sully like his life, like he just won $1 million. But anyways, back to the shots. They'll look for shots and they'll say, oh, he only had 8 shots but scored 5 goals, while I put up 25 shots, so therefore I was the better player. That is typically a Banoughler talking. Now, I must preface this that I tend to do that too, but I can counter that with saying, you know, I split a wager with Bones, and I must admit, going into the wager, I didn't know Bones was going to be that good, and he outplayed me in both games. We split it, but I will admit Bones is the better player, and that's the difference between me and a Banoughler. A Banoughler will throw excuses, and he'll never say that I was a bad player. Another way Banoughler's hide among us is they typically like to think that they're good at the game, but they don't need to cheese to quote-unquote be great at the game. But yet they spend just as much time on the game as a top player. But, see, there's no reasoning with Banoughler's, because if they score the backhand forehand, or they score a slot shot or a cross crease, it's okay for them, because they're Banoughler's. And we all know Banoughler's are not good at the game. Oh, but let me tell you, heaven forbid a Div 1 player or a top player scores a cross crease, because then the Banoughler will institute, well, that's what you need to score. That's the only thing you can do. But if the Banoughler scores a backhand forehand, oh, it's Christmas in July, people, let me tell you. The Banoughler watches the replays, and he salivates in his own greatness. But, like I said, if the opponent does that, well, then he's a top Div 1 player, and that's all he needs, and that's all he can do. But yet, let's assess the problem with the Banoughler. The Banoughler knows what it takes to win at EASHL at the top levels, correct? Correct. But yet the Banoughler, A, doesn't do those things, and B, can't stop the opponent with his defense. And so, who is worse? The Banoughler who cries about how his goaltender can't bail him out, and how he doesn't stop the cheese, or the guy who cheeses to win? I don't know. Am I thinking about is, in hockey, there are ways to score, regardless. Ovi shoots from the whatever side, I think it's the left side if you're looking at the top of the rink, on the power play. Is he a cheeser? Is he a glitcher? I'm sure these Banoughler's would say so. But yet, the defense knows it's coming and they still can't stop it on the power play. So the Banoughler is the defense, while the top Div 1 player is Ovechkin. You decide that battle. But let me just assess something about Banoughler's. The worst problem about the Banoughler's, like I said, is they salivate in their own greatness, because they think they're good at the game, but they don't need the cheese like the top Div 1 players to win. But yet they complain when they lose. See, there's no logic with these people. There's no reasoning with the Banoughler. My last thing, what do I tell a Banoughler if I see him? One word. I don't give them the time of day because they're cancer. There's no reasoning with these people, like I've established. When you see a Banoughler and they complain, you just tell them to shut up. And that's it. That's all you tell them. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Just tell them that. You know why? Because Banoughler's are not worth your time. There's no logic. There's no reasoning. Either way, if they play with a top stacked team and they lose, well, you're a cheeser and has no life and your mom didn't love you. But if they have a worse team than you and they lose, well, you just need better players to win. And how do you argue with that? How do you argue? So I ask you people, please be careful of Banoughler's. Don't turn in the one. Establish, write down these red flags that I talked about, and check yourself every day, people. Because Banoughler, you can become a Banoughler without even realizing it. And your friends may like you because you may have certain things, qualities, subscribers, followers, whatever. But we all know, lurking in the shadows, that you're a problem. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. If you enjoyed this commentary, please leave a like. Share this with your friends, people. Get the word out. This is Banoughler's. And like I said, I will be establishing the Banoughler method in a coming video. Look out for that. And people, I may start a support group on Twitter, because people who aren't Banoughler's, we need to find a place to hide. and speak to one another and support each other. Have a great day. I am Sully. Take care. Peace in the Middle East. Don't forget, I'm from Southeast, and I like spice in my rice with everything nice. I'm out. Take care.